Hello and welcome to Designer Discussions with Jason, Miriam, and Maria. Today we are talking about the best apps to use in 2025. Welcome to Designer Discussions podcast with
Mirjam,
Maria,
and Jason. Tune in each week where we discuss marketing, PR, and business advice for design professionals.
So today Miriam and I are going to dive into the apps that are on your phone, and we're going to talk about which ones are good and that they can kind of improve your life if you understand that they exist and how they work. And I'm also going to talk about the app purge, the things that will actually also improve your life and the things that you shouldn't be diving into because I don't see that these things are really going to produce results by the end of the year and that they may just create an additional layer of chaos to our lives that we already have, right? We are seeking balance and health and wellness in our lives. And sometimes that comes with a little bit of an edit. And I'm excited too, because I don't know if anybody knows this, okay? But this is super top secret information. Miriam is the app connoisseur. If you were to ever ask someone about the newest and latest and greatest productivity apps, scheduling apps, tools and resources that you can use in bite-sized ways, Mirjam is the person. So we are going to tap into her latest and greatest and her very in-depth desire to create wellness and health in life and how you could apply some of those resources as well. So
that sounds amazing. I wish I had it all figured out, but it's a journey.
it's a process.
Yes,
right?
it is.
It's a
Yes,
process. All right. So some of the things that I think that we should be aware of in 2025 is that we're going to start seeing AI applied in layers, right? So AI started out as a 1-layer cake, and then it turned into a 2-layer cake. And I think in 2025, we're going to be at 7-layer cake status. And that we just should have an awareness of why some of those tools may or may not help us. And so one of the top things I think you should be aware of is that we are going to have these iOS updates. So the operating systems for our phones are going to have increasingly larger quantities of AI in it to help improve our experience. And when we are talking about the use of AI, we're talking about a tool that would learn and grow to please us and to allow us to have as much confirmation bias in our lives possible. And so even though it may seem like some of this AI is going to be like make things faster, do things better for you, for your business, you are technically actually making your life and your business more AI and less human. So Siri is going to be, Siri is ChatGPT. And you're going to see that there is a setting in your iOS that will be rolling out this year. I think it's mostly in the newer phones where AI is going to have its own closed version of AI running on your phone that has access to everything on your phone. And I know Apple has a pretty strong privacy setup for all of our lives, but the reality is our phones listen to us, and we really just should be more aware and more alert that these interactions are happening in our lives and how it may script and craft and change our lives in the future because we think it's convenient. So look at what AI is engineered into and start looking at if you can remove it and just be aware that it may not produce the true results that you're wanting, right? You don't want everything that is an email going out sounding like AI. Another thing that I do is I remove my data collection. This is another thing you can do in your settings where you disable your camera and a lot of like audio input and that type of stuff for the apps that are on your phone, unless you're actually reading those giant terms and conditions and privacy policies. And the reason to do that is the fact that, and Jason will be able to confirm this, is that you can go into Facebook and run an ad, and you can pick what hobbies the person has, how much money they have in their bank account, and where they go regularly. And this information is gathered on you so that people can then target you to market to. And it's a very successful way for businesses to market to you. However, if you don't engage in that part of these social media apps and other applications, you just get that one more layer of privacy in your life, and you aren't kind of manipulated from the environment that some of these applications are going to be running off of in the future. And your information is super valuable to them, and they are selling it, and you aren't truly reaping the benefits of having all of that data collected and then sent back out there into the world. Another thing that I think is important in this 2025 application purge is your old passwords, guys. You can't reuse your passwords anymore. AI is out there. There are nefarious people using these types of tools to help them get into things. And this is a time when we really should be just taking a refresher and going through and updating passwords, and maybe looking at some terms and conditions and privacy policies on things on your app. Another thing that I also like to purge is those little screen notifications for apps that are not beneficial. If they are a distraction to you today, they will continue to be a distraction on a small basis every day for the rest of the time that you allow those notifications. So, even though it's more beneficial for the app to send you a notification and get you back onto their platforms, it is actually not a good thing for you. And especially if it's like a news app that's going to be feeding you possibly negative information during the day, this is a great opportunity to take that and then decide when you want to access that information and how you want to access that information. So really the purge of apps is about curating. It's about seeking apps that create a result and a strategy that you want, all while having inner control over how they make you feel. And if they make you feel bad, it's time. It might be time to delete it. It might be time to have it logged out. And so try logging out of some of your programs that you have on your phone and decide, is this really beneficial to me or not? So now we get to talk about the beneficial apps, the things that we should be looking at to help improve and create a lifestyle that integrates these amazing electronic devices that we have in our pockets that we access all of the time, so that you get a handle on your life, you get that control. All right, Mirjam, let's dive into all of the goodies that you can have on your phone.
Well, and mine are obviously very curated to what is helpful to me. And I will also say that while I use my phone a lot, I am a big fan of cloud-based apps that I can use on my computer and my phone. I'm like, and you know this, I like to simplify. That's my goal always is to simplify and make things easier and more efficient. And I I've tried a lot of things, and it's like, then I think I found what I really like, and then maybe that wasn't, and so I move, and there's always new apps and new tools coming out. So I think it makes sense to always be looking for new things. But when I commit to something, I usually at least give it about 6 months, so you can say, because it takes time to set it up, and you really want to make sure you understand it well enough and use it enough that you can judge whether or not it's actually worth it for you. And there's some apps, as we call them now, that have been around for a very long time. It's like one of the ones I use a lot. Let's talk about work stuff first, right? And one of the ones I use and I really still like is Grammarly. So it's like a sophisticated spell checker, but now obviously, and I don't even know, but I've been using that for years and years and years before AI was a thing. And now obviously it has AI capabilities too, and it can actually help refine your style. And interestingly, sometimes like if I do something in chat, so I have an AI generated text, and then Grammarly is going to want to correct what that AI program did. So they don't, you train them to how you want to use them. But I really do like Grammarly, and I don't take everything that it gives me, but it'll say this would be the better option to say what you have said. And oftentimes I have to say, okay, that works. And so I do recommend it. I do pay for it. I don't remember exactly how much. It's not very much. But I that is one I have been using for a very long time, and I'll keep using it because I really do think it's helpful. Do you use Grammarly, either one of you? No, you do. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah. No, it's a good one. It's a good
So
one.
here me and the log out, right? The edit.
Yeah.
I found out that I can not pay for Grammarly because there is a free version of Grammarly that runs on Macs. So I've been able to take the program that I was paying for, because I was paying for it as an independent program, and turned it into a free tool. And I noticed it's still running and working on all of my stuff on my computer because I run a Mac without having to pay for it. So also in the edit,
nice.
which you don't have to pay for. So
I'll have to look into that because I have a Mac.
Yeah, I use it. I mean, I love Grammarly. It's, if you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Why pay for it?
And actually, I can't remember what the name of the lady is who founded it, but she used to do video. She's like a grammar nerd, and I'm a linguist. So it's always spoken to me. But so I'm glad we're all on the same page. So Grammarly is a good one to have. Then it's obvious, my life is busy, right? I have 3 kids. I have a consulting business. We do this. There's all these things. So scheduling and time management is one of the main things that I'm always trying to improve. And I've gone through a lot of different types of tools and softwares. And where I am right now is, so a project management tool is helpful, and I've used many different ones. Currently, I'm using Asana, and it's the non-paid version that I use with one of my team members, just so we can coordinate deadlines and tasks. So I think I do like Asana. I've tried Monday, ClickUp. We have Aura for some stuff. There's so many out there, and I do think it's worth having one just to keep yourself organized. I also put some personal stuff in there, like if I have house tasks that need to get done. So it's helpful, and you don't have to pay for it unless you use it for like your entire team. Then obviously you would want to upgrade. So then I like Asana, but I live on my calendar, right? If something's not on my calendar, I'm probably going to forget all about it. I'm not going to do it. It's going to be late. So I'm always looking for tools. I like tools that integrate. I'm like, if I can have fewer tools, that's better for me because then I don't have to manage all these different things. And what I'm using right now for my calendar management, so to speak, is called Motion. And it's a program. It's like they promote it as it's like you have an executive assistant that manages your calendar. And what it does, what I really like is when you schedule things in Motion and you don't get to them, if your day is anything like mine, you're always like, oh, I'm going to do this here and this there and this then. And that never happens because then some fire pops up and then for 2 hours you're doing this and you haven't gotten to any of the other things. And then you're constantly moving things around manually on your calendar. And with Motion will do that for you. So if you don't check it, if it's on your calendar for 10 and you don't check it off, then it'll just move it to further in the future. And there's different ways it also does project management, really. I just don't use it for that, but you could integrate it all in there, but it automatically adjusts your to-dos into the future if you don't get to them. And that is honestly super helpful because I was constantly moving things. And then if I don't move them, then they're in the past and I forget about them because they're not on my calendar anymore. So I really, really like that, I have to say. So that I've been using that for, I don't know, maybe 4 months or so. And it's my new favorite. Yes, Maria.
Does it integrate into a calendar you already have, or is it a freestanding calendar?
No. So I have my Google actually, I have two different Google calendars that I sort of use because they're tied to different email addresses and one of them ties into the other and they both tie into Motion. And so I can look at Motion and Motion has like a calendar view. So I will see everything there, or I can look at my Google Calendar and it'll mirror. So everything that's in Motion is visible on my Google Calendar too. So I can look on my phone, on my Google Calendar, and everything will be in all the tasks that are in Motion are there too. And like, it's wild because you can add, like if there's an event that's at a specific time, that's just going to be in this one spot. If I plug it into Motion or in my Google Calendar, Motion will automatically arrange everything to free up that time and put it in the time slots that come after that. Yeah, when I found this, I'm like, oh my God, this is the holy grail. This is what I have been looking for all my life. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, it's a huge step up from anything that I have used in the past. So that's my favorite right now. I also use an app called Boomerang for my for my Gmail. And it actually, Gmail is starting to integrate more of these of the things that Boomerang does also, but it's still not quite as good. But so it can help with you can schedule follow-ups when you send out emails. But my favorite capability that it has is it lets you schedule meetings with people. So let's say I want to schedule a meeting with you, Maria. Okay. And then I'll tell Boomerang in my Gmail, I say, schedule a meeting with Maria. I say, okay, 30 minutes. Okay, we want to talk about this. And then I'm going to give you 3 options or 4, however my essay. I have time here, 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 here. And it'll send you the view of my calendar with the different options. So then you can accept the one that you like. And I can build in an automatic Zoom link and it'll set up the meeting for both of us. So you and I don't have to go back and forth 5, 6 times until we figure out what time slot works. And even after you send it, the view will update. So if my calendar changes and I'm not available anymore, then you're not going to be able to pick that time slot. It's really nifty because I have a lot of meetings with people, and especially if it's several people, it gives you that option too. So you can schedule meetings with several people, and it's the most complicated thing to schedule a call because everybody's busy, and to find the time slot that works for everybody. And then everybody says, I'm available Monday 5 to 6 and Tuesday 3 to 4 and Wednesday. And then you have to put it all together. And I don't have an assistant who does that, so I use it as a meeting scheduling assistant. It's nice. It's a big time saver. I still use chat, and thanks to Maria, I was a very early adapter of chat. Before everybody talked about AI, we were already using it. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I've played with other AI apps like Perplexity or Claude or Notebook LM, and they're all good, but I still actually and I mostly use chat for a lot of things that I do. So definitely that, and I have the paid version of that as well, and I have the non-tracking set up because I'm a PR person and I work on confidential products and information, right? So I don't want my clients to feel compromised.
That is part of the edit. When it comes to these applications, it was a new feature that you can have it not train off of your information. And so it's up in the right-hand side. You can click on it and it comes down, and you can just toggle from that this is public and training to not public. And this is part of that edit. Let's just dial it in on the AI. You can use it. It's great. It's an excellent tool, but you don't necessarily need it remembering everything you gave it and sharing it with other people.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. So that is definitely super helpful. Then I use a lot of Google tools. I use Google Drive for a lot of collaborations when it comes to, documents. Like when I have people, let's say I write the newsletter for designer discussions, I send it to the team. So I'll just send them to Google Doc and everybody can edit in there. So we can keep it all in one place. The goal is always to keep it in one place, keep it as efficient as possible. And an app that I like for communication outside of email is Slack. And it's helpful because you can have different groups. So I have a few different Slack channels to communicate with different clients. We have one for designer discussions. We don't use it a lot. We mostly text, which drives me nuts, by the way.
I would much rather get the text. Much rather. I am not a slacker. I am a texter.
I'm a total slacker, but whatever. I can be flexible. It's fine. You'll come around one of these days. But so if you're looking for an app that's not a Facebook Messenger, not WhatsApp, not text, not email, Slack is a good one because like in text, you can't organize in any threads. It's just all one dump, And in Slack, you can really be more organized. So if you have different areas of your business or like different projects, it's a good tool. So if you don't know about it, check it out.
It also does a lot less personal tracking than some of the other
I bet.
apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think after it and if we use the free version for everything, it lets you do a lot of things, but after a certain time, it deletes everything. Like maybe 6 months. I don't know. But you usually use it to work on current projects. So it's not like it's a filing system in that sense.
Well, and it doesn't send you an ad for something from the last store you were in. And if you start noticing those behaviors, that's when you know to maybe if you're not using your WhatsApp, if you're not using the Messenger outside of like Facebook Marketplace or a couple of Facebook groups, those you can just log out of or remove the app off of your phone and reload it when you need it.
Yeah.
But Slack does not show any form of invasive.
So you should like it.
I know. It's just I don't have anybody else on except for you guys.
Okay.
So,
Okay. We'll work on that. Okay. So my last businessy app that I use a lot, it's when I travel. And honestly, this is an app I have used this app. I don't know. I want to say 10 years. It's been a long time. It's called Tripcase. And there's a lot of travel apps out there, but what I like about this one is it's free. And when I get a book, like I book a flight, I book a hotel, I just forward it to the email and it feeds it right into the app and it organizes my trip. It'll say, okay, this is your flight, this is your hotel, that's where you're going. And when I'm at the airport, it often happened that Tripcase tells me about flight changes before I hear it over the speaker or anywhere else, you know. So I've always used it. It really works well. And it's super simple too. And I love it. I don't have to manually do anything. I just send it on and my trip is right there. And it's kind of fun because you can go back and look. It's like if you don't remember, you know, when you went where, you can go look it all up. So that is my favorite. Then I mean, we don't just work, right? So I try to take care of myself, right? So wellness is something big, and there's a lot of apps that are really fun out there. And I download a lot of them. I look at them, and a lot of them I just get rid of. So I'm constantly downloading and purging. My kids think I'm nuts because I have so many apps on my phone and 113,000 unread emails, but it's all good.
And if you knew that she also had probably 300 tabs open as well on her browser, it's insane. I don't know how she stays. I don't understand how she holds it all together.
That's why I have these apps, you know, that we're going to talk about now. So there's just a few things that I really like. So I try to sleep well and enough, which is always a challenge. And I used a sleep app for a year. It was called Sleep Cycle, and I actually kind of liked it. And then I found a new one, and it's called Arise. And it works with your circadian rhythm, so it doesn't just track your sleep, but it'll predict what your energy cycle is like during the day. So it's your peak energy is like in the morning from this time to this time, and then you have a slump, and then you have another peak in the afternoon, and it can be helpful. Not that I live by it, but and I can feel that it's actually true, right? So then I try to schedule the tasks that require more energy and more brain power for the times when I'm more alert and have more energy. So it's really kind of fun. And it if you have an Apple Watch, probably another watch too, it synchronizes with that. And it's just kind of fun. I'm not obsessive about it by any means. Actually, I always forget to charge my watch, or then it's charged and I don't put it on. So I use it like half the time, but it's just a fun thing to play with. Not something to obsess about. I do also I'm a yogi and I meditate, not as much as I should, but I try. And so I have apps that I use for that. And my favorite meditation app for a long time has been, it's a Deepak Chopra app, and now it's called Presence. There's Calm and Headspace, and I'm like, you know, it's do it 5 minutes, do it 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever is in your schedule. I do believe that it's highly beneficial for all of us. And I like Presence. It has, all of them have a ton of different options. So, but if you don't do that, take 5 minutes in the morning. I highly recommend it. Then, of course, you know, your gym has an app these days to sign up for all the stuff you want to do. I have a yoga app. It's cloud-based. It's called Glow. There's a lot of them out there, but there's any kind of exercise you want today, you can find in an app if you can't get out of the house. Then I sort of fallen out of the habit, but I liked it. There's an app, it's called the 5-Minute Journal. I'm the type of person, I love the idea of journaling. I just somehow I can't. I don't know why. But I think it's a really good habit. And if it's something you want to do or something you want to get into, 5 minute journal, like the idea, it's 5 minutes. You go in and say, these are the things I'm grateful for. These are the things I want to do today. It's super simple. It's just a few quick prompts, but it just sort of helps you focus your mind on something positive, which is always a good thing. Then there's my practical app. I've tried all the habit builders and none of that works for me. If an app is more work for me to manage than I feel I get the benefit from, I have to get rid of it, because it has to be a net positive in the end. Otherwise, I don't want to use it. One I'm playing with right now, it's called Plantin. It's one of the houseplant apps because I have a tendency to kill my house plants. So I thought I'd try it. And the jury is still out. I think it can help like diagnose issues that I like, but then the watering, and I'm like, I just might go back to watering on Sundays and winging it, which, I think that's okay too. But yeah, I like everything else. You can overschedule yourself, I think, and it's like, if you have like the cleaning apps that, on Monday, I'm going to clean this and that and that and that, it just doesn't work for me. So if it works for you, great. And there's a lot of good ones out there, but the ones I've gone through, those are my favorites right now. What do you use, Maria? What do you have that I don't have?
I was going to ask you about presents because
Yeah.
I'm a Headspace girl. I
Yeah.
really genuinely like Headspace.
Mhm.
And one of my favorite things that I like about Headspace is actually the evening wind down. You put in like your AirPods, and I don't know if Presence does it, but like I put in my AirPods at night and it will kind of tell you a story about what you're doing and where you are. And then it has like a full audio
guided
attached to that
meditation. Yeah.
experience.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like it'll be like you're falling asleep on a train car in the Alps or something weird. And it'll just like discuss and you can adjust if the speaking over is, you can adjust like which thing you want louder, like the audio,
Yes.
background
Mhm.
audio, or the person speaking, and you can adjust those. And to me, that one is good because I have a hard time with my brain. 'Cause my
Winding
brain,
down. Yeah.
it kicks up. It kicks
Mhm.
up at night. It goes into, oh my God, I need to get all this stuff done. I didn't get any, I do a full inventory of what I was supposed to get done that day
Mhm.
and think about it more at night than actually getting it done. And so I found that those have been helpful. Does Presence
Mhm.
also have some kind of like evening wind down
Yes,
thing?
they all do. So
That's
I've
great.
tried Presence Calm. Insight Timer is another one. They all have, because like generally the morning or at night are the two times when people typically will meditate. I mean, you can do it anytime during the day, but yes, like Presence, it has a lot of like theme-based meditation. So they all have like daily ones that you can just, if you don't want to think about what you want to do, they all have timers where you can say, okay, I want to meditate for this long and have some music at background and a gong or whatever. And then Presence has, it's like, a lot of it is based on like the yogic tradition and Ayurveda. And so it's a little bit on the spiritual side, if you want to put it that way, probably more than some of the other apps. So it just depends if that's the style you like. But like, there's like New Year's, like oftentimes there's series of like, I don't know, 5 to 10 meditations that you can do in a row or whenever you get to it that are sort of theme based. And that's nice too. And there's only they have three, like it's either Deepak or two other people that do the guided meditation. Sometimes they bring in guests who will host specific series on things that they specialize in. So I think I would recommend, if you're interested, try out different ones and see which one works for you. I'm like, everybody has a different style. That one works for a Headspace is great. Calm. I know a lot of people who use Calm. Insight Timer is nice. It's I don't even know that they have a paid version. They have a lot and it's all free. So it's them. And honestly, if you don't want to use an app, don't use an app. Just use a timer. You do whatever works for you.
And then Mirjam, I have one more question for you. On these work productivity ones, you said, I just want to confirm, is Motion a freestanding app that you have on your phone, or is it something that is a Google app, like one
It's
of those
not,
plugins?
it's its own, it'll work with any kind of calendar, you know, so it's a calendar app. It's freestanding, but it links to whatever, like if you have an Outlook calendar or a Google calendar, it'll synchronize with those. And you have it, so I have it on my desktop or my laptop and on my phone.
Okay.
It's cloud-based.
What about Boomerang?
Boomerang, I only have that on my laptop, actually. Because usually when I schedule meetings, I don't usually do that from my phone. Not so much. Yes, but that's a good question. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those were my two. Because I know some of the stuff you can use as a plugin, and some of them are freestanding, kind of like Canva is a freestanding.
Yes. Oh, we forgot about Canva. Canva, obviously, I use some too. Yeah. We talked about that.
And they dropped the $385 a year.
Oh,
thing.
yes.
Remember when we both melted down about that? We were like,
that was a complete PR disaster. Let me tell you. I'm so glad I don't work for them.
I mean, they took like 4 days to be like, oh, sorry.
Oh, people are really upset. Oh, maybe we shouldn't have. And what's interesting is that they completely rolled it back.
100%.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That morning, Mirjam was like, I noticed I got kicked out of your team. And I was like, and I was like, I kicked Jason out too. I was like, I'm not paying for you guys. I mean, here's the thing that was so stupid about it. It was like, I'd have to pay to have a team where I'm connected to 2 people who would also have to have a paid version of the app to have a team with me on
ridiculous.
it. And I would be a paid team host. It just made no sense. Anyway, that was like, anyway.
It would have been different if it had been $20 a month. People probably would have done it, but what was it?
It was like 308. It was almost like $400 if I remember
a year, right?
Yeah.
That was not cool.
And I was like, this makes no sense, because if I have a team and the people who are on my team are also paid users that have teams, why do
we have to pay more?
Yeah. Why would I have to pay more
for them?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was a strange thing, but yeah, you're right. It was.
They've come around.
Yeah. PR nightmare.
Okay, fun. Well, we'd love to hear what apps you guys are using. Honestly, if you have good tips, I'm always all ears for how I can maximize.
She'll try it, and then she'll give us feedback on what she thinks about it. So Mirjam is pretty specific about which ones work and which ones don't. So
yes.
It's been helpful.
Yes. And if mine don't work for you, I don't take it personally. You know, if you have better ones, I'd love to know about it.
And one of the things that I did is I put together a 2025 bingo card, and instead of a like vision board. And one of the spaces on the 2025 bingo card is to not get sucked into the newest social media platform. Like, give yourself permission when it rolls out to just be like, no, not another one. And I think everybody should embrace that, because I think in the past there's been a little bit of FOMO for not jumping on and being on it right off the bat. And I think as professionals with businesses and needing to get clients in and make money, the newest social media platform is really a no at this point. So give yourself that peace.
It's good advice. Okay, I think that's all we have for today. Thanks for indulging us, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks on Designer Discussions.
Did you know it takes 17 to 20 touch points before your potential clients recognize who you are? Is your business the one that they find first when they are looking? If not, there's a solution. the Designer Discussions Academy membership with your Designer Discussions podcast hosts are your personal coaches. With weekly live sessions and exclusive community, practical resources, and expert guidance, we're here to simplify your marketing and boost your business. Sign up at designerdiscussions.com or follow the link in the show notes. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Designer Discussions and all of the helpful information. Subscribe to our podcast, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. We look forward to having you back next week. For more information on the podcast and the marketing studio, visit designerdiscussions.com and follow us on social media.